Nature. So nature is one of my favorite things ever. Like being outside, just sitting around in the trees or going around on a bike ride or hike or backpacking or rucking, whatever it is. Like just being outside is one of the best things you can do. It's my favorite place to be. But the point of this video is that nature can be a powerful tool to help people reflect and grow as a person and to possibly even awaken a spiritual side of yourself that you might not know. So, I've got a few sources I'm going to cite in this video. The first one's The Death of a Moth by Dillard. It's an essay that she wrote about her experiences through what she sees in nature. And an article by Teja Pattabhiraman. It's called How Being in Nature Can Spur Personal Growth. So this is an article about how even just listening to the birds or seeing sights outside or experiences or things that happen in the outdoors can spur reflection within yourself and to even just cause yourself to think about what's going on around you more than you might before. So like I said, I love the great outdoors. Like just being outside, it's one of my favorite things ever. So, with my personal experiences, I hike and I backpack, like I said, and I go on bike rides, and even just like Teja's article said, sitting outside up against a tree and like listening to music or just listening to the birds chirp in the background or leaves crunch from somebody walking their dog through the park. It's beautiful, and you can think about how those sounds or what's going on around you can pull you away from what's going on in the real world or what's going on in the rest of your life. Or you can use it to think about what is going on in the rest of your life if you rather. You can think about how you can think about the serenity and how you wish you had that serenity going on or how you do have that serenity or what you could do to get to that point of serenity, whether it's how you could think about, oh, I want to be out here more, let me go get my schoolwork done, or I want to improve myself, be like the trees, be strong and tall, and you could be out there working your ass off to better yourself. When it comes to the spirituality side, I'm not personally that spiritual, but there's a lot of articles and different books on how being outdoors and like watching experiences like seeing a new animal for the first time or seeing a mother bird feeding a baby bird, it can make you think and connect on a deeper level with your God or your beliefs or your deities. And it can help you to focus on things more than just yourself. That's what so reflection can come in many ways. Reflection can be just yourself, or it can be things bigger than yourself like a god or a deity. It can be thinking of the people around you and what you can do to give back to those around you. Like for me, a thing that helped was I used to go and volunteer at the animal shelter. So I would go and for a few hours every week I would go and I'd help clean kennels or I'd help feed animals, dogs and cats like mainly, or I'd help hold an animal for them to get a shot, stuff like that. It's like it can influence giving back. Like I love animals, being outdoors, seeing all these different creatures, like the birds in the trees, the deer running through the woods, people walking their dogs, like anything like that. It's a beautiful sight to see, right? I don't know. I love being outside. So hiking is one of my favorite things to do ever. Hiking, backpacking, those kind of things. Being on a trip, staying in the outdoors, listening to all the sounds, being away from technology. Like we spend so much of our lives hooked in on technology. Like I've got three screens up in front of me and a phone on the desk and a watch and some headphones. Like everything is so built around technology in our lives. We spend all day in our classes or at our jobs looking at a screen. And being away from that, being out somewhere outside where there's no technology around, I think it's relaxing, it's refreshing. Even if you're not going to reflect on anything, being out there can help calm a person down. Like it calms me down. it gets me out there, just not paying attention to what's going on in the world a lot of the time. Even though sometimes you end up bringing like music with you and you put some earbuds in or you put a speaker on and you're walking around talking to friends, it's just still a great experience, a great time. For me, I like to go out in the woods and I'll put like one of my earbuds in and I'll have the other ear open, listening to the leaves crunch and just like being at peace. Like lean up against a tree, kick back a little bit, like arms behind your head, legs out, and like just listen to some nice calm music and the sounds around you. So I don't know. I love just, and it helps to reflect. Something I learned from my grandfather is he would come to our house and he'd sit either out in the patio or in the sunroom and he'd watch out the window at the tree right outside and watch and listen to the little songbirds like cardinals and robins and blue jays that would pull up into that tree, and they wouldn't necessarily have a nest there, but they would sit in that tree and they'd eat some bird feed or they'd just sit there and chirp and do their thing. And he sat there, he'd read his newspaper sometimes, he'd watch the birds, watch the dogs in the yard, listen. He was just serene. It was his happy place. So that's where I got it. And there's so many different ways to take it that it's a really personal thing too. So there's so many different ways you can take it. Like what Miss Dillard talks about in her essay is that she was on a camping trip in the Blue Ridge Mountains of my home state, Virginia, and she was reading a book by a fire, and a moth, just like a really massive female moth, landed on that fire, and it melted and it became like a hollow shell, but it like illuminated the light extra. It made the light it made the light brighter, and she could see better the details around her and the details of that moth, that she could read the words better and understand them better. She could see how beautiful the color of her sweater really was, the leaves around her, how they were falling in the fall time, things like that. It's just, there's so many different ways to look at nature and how reflection can come with that. And it's really a personal thing, and it can go your own way no matter what. Everybody's got their own way to reflect, and everybody wants their own thing out of it. There's no one way. Like my way of going and sitting against a tree or in a tree or on a hike and thinking and being serene and calm isn't what everybody has to do. But I think nature is the perfect tool to get what you want out of reflection. It doesn't have to be like like sit there and meditate, but try getting outside, try being there in nature, maybe with some friends, maybe by yourself, go for a bike ride and just think. And just reflect on what's going on in your life, or if you want to get away from it, just stay calm and just forget about what's going on for a little bit. Calm yourself down and just take some time for yourself. Thank you.